Well, should we do a mic check before the meeting starts? Can anyone hear me?
Sounded good for me, Ken.
Okay, Gary. Beverly, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear. Rhonda, can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, and I got Christy, so I think we got everybody. We got a couple minutes to wait, and we'll get at it. Okay, my phone and computer has turned to 7 p.m. So I'm going to call the Columbia Township meeting to order at 7 p.m. The Pledge Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number C is roll call. Christy?
Present.
Rhonda?
And I'm, just to be clear, I'm at the hall, which is why I did not say where I'm at.
I'm in Van Buren County at my home in Columbia Township.
Gary? Gary Gruss?
Present, logged in remotely in Columbia Township.
Beverly Sherrer?
Present, attending remotely in Van Buren County, Michigan.
And I'm Ken Speicher, and I'm present at the Township Hall. Agenda. We do have an agenda before us. It's the previous meeting minutes, expenditures for the month, treasury report. Is there any discussions on the agenda? Not hearing any discussion for the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Thank you, Gary. Second? Do I have a second?
I second. It's Rhonda.
Rhonda? Roll call. Christy?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
And Ken, yes. Item number C is public comment on the agenda items. So at this point in time, I would like to have any public comments on any of the items in the consent agenda. new or old business, specifically staying focused on the subject matters of tonight's meeting items. At the end of the meeting, we'll have a general public comment where you can address the township board on any matter you might have. So, Christie, could you take any public comment that we have?
Certainly. So we have several avenues for providing public comment. If you would like to speak in the meeting, you can simply turn your microphone on and speak. We also have a chat box. If you are watching this from the township website and have not logged into the Zoom, there is a link on the agenda items. That little bit.ly link will allow you to submit a comment. And then, of course, you can email me at clerk@columbiatwp.com.
Hey, Ken, this is Commissioner Doro. Can you guys hear me?
Sure, Ken, go ahead.
Okay. I know you've got a report of what's been going on, but just a little bit more with the changes that have been made at the county with Frank Harzer taking over John Fall's position. We have Carrie Elmore that has moved. She actually worked with Frank in the courts. She's moving to administration. And Rachel Lindley is taking over Frank's job at the courts. So a lot of changes going on. I'm sure there'll be a few more. And one thing to remember, if you're sending us, anybody in the county, emails, we've changed that. It's now, just like it was before, be Doro K at Van Buren County, spelled out all the way, mi.gov, G-O-V, because now we're under that .gov, and that should help us with the computer problems that a lot of people seem to have. But once again, Van Buren County, spelled out all the way, mi.gov. So that's about all I have. Any questions for me?
Ken, your mic's not on. Your mic's not on.
Is there any other comments?
Yeah, Ken, this is Doug Burleson, Van Buren County Road Commission.
Yeah, Doug.
Just wanted to touch base real quick. Couple things going on with the road commission. Tomorrow night is our regular meeting at 5 o'clock. I think we're going to award a bid for the base coat of asphalt on County Road 380 from Breezeville to the Bloomingdale Township line. So that's something going on in your township. And we accepted a bid a while ago. It's supposed to start sometime after July 1st to finish County Road 388 from 46th Street to Bloomingdale village limits. So the road all the way from Grand Junction to, and then the village is working on their section of road right now. So that road will be completed all the way to the fire hall on the east village limit from the railroad tracks in Grand Junction to the Bloomingdale Township Fire Hall. And that's about all I've got. Construction season is underway. They're berming roads for getting ready for seal coating. And that's about it. So if there's any
Thank you,
questions
Doug.
for me. Yep. Thank you.
We also have a chat from Leslie Elrod saying, just a note, making sure that tentative sale of mobile home property is maintained as a mobile home park property due to state requirements.
Is that it with comments, Christie?
I am not seeing any further comments at this time. I realized I turned my way and this computer doesn't like it, so I'm not seeing any further comments at this time.
Okay, we're going to go on to item line F, consent agenda. We have the meetings minutes from the previous meetings. That'd be April 20th, 2021. We have invoices, paid expenditures and payroll. We got treasurer's report. Do we have any discussion on any of those items? Is there any items we need to remove from there and talk about later? If we don't have any, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
The only comment I had, or I should say question, was answered by the treasurer. If there's no other comments or conversation, I'll move that we accept the consent agenda as written.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Hang on a second. This Rhonda.
Rhonda, thank you.
Since I didn't get my treasury report in there, do you want me to read it? Because I did write something up.
You,
Or no?
are you saying you have an actual report for the consent agenda, or are you saying you have a report for reports?
Oh. Okay, probably for reports.
We can't change the consent agenda, so the only
Okay.
thing we can do is remove treasurer report from it if we need to, but we also, somebody needs to second Gary's motion before we can really discuss it.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second to roll call. Christie,
Yes,
Rhonda,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes,
Beverly,
Yes.
and Ken, yes. Information and reports. I believe the road commission, county commissioner have already made a statement on their reports. But if anyone would like to make a comment that has written a report to us at this point, they can make a comment. And if you believe your report doesn't need any additional information, we'll move on if I don't hear anything in a few minutes here.
Rhonda, this is where you would read your report.
Okay. So my report for this month is short. I've been busy getting the tax documents ready for summer taxes, which are due to be mailed on July 1st. If your address has to be changed, please give me a call. And I'm in the office on Tuesdays and Fridays from 9 to 1. And I can change that for you. You can also email me at treasurer.columbiatwp.com and leave me your new address. This will help get your tax bills to you without any delays. I am also working with a reputable company for the credit card system, and I'm working hard at getting it implemented by July 1st. I'm excited about this and can't wait to get it in place. With summer coming on, let's keep our yards looking nice and show that we have pride in our township. Free dump passes are available with 2 punches on the card, and you can get one once a year. You can also purchase more from the transfer station for $20 that have 20 punches on them. I hope everyone is doing well and staying well. And that's it.
Thank you, Rhonda. Do we have any other comments?
Yes, there was one thing I left off of my report that I wanted to mention. Board members may have seen in their email different communications from state and federal agencies talking about how local municipalities now need to have a SAM account in order to receive federal funds, some of which are coming from the CARES Act. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I have successfully completed that process. So we're all signed up under SAM and we'll be able to receive federal funds as they come available.
Hey.
Thanks, Christie. Anyone else? Not hearing any, I'm going to move on to unfinished business, lot sales. Van Buren County has a number of single lots in Little Bear and Saddle Lake subdivisions. And I contacted them about providing them to us, and they said that they would need a resolution to do so. And we get charged a $30 filing the deed with registration, and they'll prepare all the titles. So I wrote a resolution 2021-13 to purchase those tax reverted properties from Van Buren County. And that's what we're looking at here. I also want to give you a little bit of data on the lot sales. I did sell a lot to a single property owner that had blocked all available people from owning a single lot. And right now I have a double lot in the process of being sold, which the only person that could buy it is surrounded by the same owner. So I'm working at selling these little lots. I have been generating a list of all the lots we have in Little Bear and Saddle Lake, and then I'm analyzing on who and how we can get these properties to the right person to build a buildable lot. So you'll have a first bidder and a second bidder. The first bidder would be the most logical one to get a buildable lot. The second one is if the first one don't want it, then you'd probably have two smaller lots, but I think we're trying to stay away from that. But I'm making that big list, and I'll have that available to the board members shortly. But we are moving ahead with selling the ones that we can sell. I do also have a number of them that if I combine them right, I can get buildable lots, and I'm going to turn those over to our clerk to put them on the website for sale. And I think we could get a better sale price for them. And we'll be talking about that a little bit later when she talks about the one that we have on our agenda for mobile home being on the website. Does anyone on the board like to discuss the resolution at this point? Or did I give you enough information?
No, Ken, I'm just wondering these properties from Van Buren County, are you proposing buying them so that in order to combine them with existing lots that are there, or I'm not sure what your plan is. That's what I'm asking.
My plan is to get these single lots because I looked at them. I'm not buying any swampland or anything like that. And I'm not buying them from there. I'm paying $30 just to register them over in our name. But I do have property that's going to be able to purchase the county lot and get a buildable lot. And, just one of those is probably going to pay for all the 11. I think it's 10 or 11 that we're going to purchase under this resolution.
Oh, I was just figuring you had some kind of strategy. So I was
I do have a
pretty
strategy.
sure I knew what
for
it
each one of them.
was, but I wanted to be clear.
Yep, I have it, and I think this list that I'm making would kind of show that strategy.
Okay, and there was something that you said just a second ago. And maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that if it were an individual lot that couldn't make a buildable lot, that we were not going to sell it and just hang on to it.
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay.
I have some that I have targeted not to sell. I think 3 of them that we own are actually in a wetland, and we won't be selling them. And I marked them as wetland on that list.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So I'm looking at them, and like I said, I'll have that whole list. And I think when you get the list, it will provide a lot of data. I have I'm being donated 11 lots from a gentleman from Nevada, and in that we have 6 lots tied together, a big lot.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, but we may split that to 2-3 lots so that we could sell 2 buildable lots instead of just 1. And we might sell it as a big lot if it's close to the road. If it's closer to the road, I'd like to have a bigger house built than back in the back. So it depends on where it's located also. A lot of things are being looked at.
Sure, great, good.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolution 2021-13 for purchase of tax reverted property from Van Buren County?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2021-013 to purchase tax reverted property from Van Buren County.
Do I have a second?
I'll support Christie.
Christie? Roll call vote. Christie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes,
Beverly?
Yes.
And Ken, yes. Christie has provided a cost benefit analysis for the township internet and phone. In addition, supporting documentation to go with that. I did a speed test on our internet from Frontier tonight, and it's 30 for download and 3.4 for upload. That is pretty slow. And what I see that she's proposing is going to be faster speed, less money. So any discussion on this?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I have read about this before actually and heard about it and actually had considered whether it would be a good switch personally or not, but isn't this a pilot project by Elon Musk? Isn't it still in the pilot phase?
It is not in pilot, it's in beta still for a short period of time. It's getting to the point where it's going to be out of beta soon. And when it comes out of beta, the cost for the equipment is actually going to go up, from my understanding. Although there has been some discussion about getting it subsidized, so it doesn't, but.
But does beta mean, does that mean that they're testing the waters to see if they're going to go forward with this
No.
as a real rollout as opposed to? So
No.
explain to me what beta means then.
Beta is the next step. So it's basically like a phased approach to launching this project. In some instances, some people use beta as a testing platform, and to some extent, it does mean that they're testing, so to speak. It's more of a ramp up than it is testing. So, and we actually have somebody on the line that might be able to explain it better than, but I really think I've been doing a lot of research on this. I've talked to Roy, I've talked to Elliot Elrod, and some other people who have used this, and it has been very successful for them. And I know that this is not going away. I know that it's increasing, they're increasing their reach. And even by the end of this year, the reach for this is going to be significantly further than it is now. I don't remember the number of satellites they're launching per month, but it's pretty high. So that it's nothing slowing down. It's only moving forward.
Okay, and then my other question would be, and not that I'm totally opposed to this idea, I'm just trying to gather information. It is satellite, and I've got Frontier here, and it occasionally has its issues for sure. But when I had satellite, the problem was weather related. So is that going to be an issue, or because his satellites are lower, does that somehow make it better? Can you, anyone speak to that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because they're lower, there is less interference. Does it mean that there's never going to be an outage because of weather? No, but we have outages because of weather with Frontier. So from my understanding, this especially set right smack dab in the wide open here, we shouldn't have any or much weather related issues, probably no more than we have with Frontier right now. And that part of that is because those satellites are made to be disposable, a low orbit, and they come back into the surface area in teeny tiny little pieces of ash. Actually, I don't think anything makes it.
So if we do go forward with this, I would recommend that when we're having it installed, that we keep in mind that someone may occasionally need to sweep snow off of it.
Yes.
That's been my satellite experience in the winter. And then the only other question I had, Christy, was on the number of phones. I really like the idea of having a phone in the main hall. Because if we continue with into this century with our meetings, that's a great idea. I'm having trouble with the cost benefit isn't opening, but I thought I counted one phone line too many. Am I wrong?
So I
Or
think
is that
in my,
phone
Oh, the-
lines or physical phones?
Is that not open? Hold on just a second. It's, physical phones, like, well, one of them's a phone line because it's a fax machine.
I want to see why this is not populating. Give me 1 second. Because I have that whole thing all mapped out here.
I had read it earlier. I was just trying to look at refresh the number of phones, refresh my mind.
Yeah, I don't, it's weird that it's not loading right now.
I want to get it up here, so I'm gonna make sure that it gets that right now.
My only comment that I might have is doing a little bit of research on this and talking with Roy as well. Anytime you move forward with technology, you're bound to have glitches in it, and those can be worked out in time. I also believe that in looking at the cost analysis, that there may be a little bit upfront cost. However, in the long run, we're going to more than make up savings from what our current system is now. And it's my understanding the extra phone that may be us possibly wanting to look into would be one in the main hall, so that when we are back in the hall at regular type meetings, that people can access that if they're not able to be at the hall, and it would be easier for them, and the system would handle that so that they can participate more freely. So personally, I think it's well worth it.
Yeah, I like the conference call idea. I just questioned that the amount of phones that we needed in the office.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that to load again here because I have, and I'm gonna pull it up while it's loading.
Well, how many,
There's
So-
five, there's 5 in the office now.
Yeah, so we have, there's the secretary, supervisor, assessor, clerk, and treasurer, plus the fax line.
plus the fax line? So is it possible to, does Ann need a phone there? Does Ann
Oh, she
still
uses it
working?
all, she uses it all the time when she's here.
Okay, so she is still in the office.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't have any more questions.
Okay, and I apologize to everyone that's watching. This was working at one point, I promise. So I'm making sure it works again.
It could just be on my end here, Christy.
No, actually, I couldn't pull it up over here either.
Now,
So
see if we had Starlink, we wouldn't have this trouble.
that's possible.
Well, I don't think that's the internet.
No, it isn't. I'm just thinking.
Any more discussion? Can I get a motion to approve the hall internet and phone project as presented at an initial cost not to exceed $2,000?
I'll make that motion.
That is Beverly.
Yes.
Can I get a second?
Gary will second it.
Thank you, Gary. Roll call. Christie,
Yes,
Rhonda,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes,
Beverly,
Yes.
and Ken, yes. Item I2 is mobile home park. We have before us a piece of property which is designated as a mobile home area in our township by the zoning ordinance through the planning commission. We're required to have an area like that in our township. The lot is a little bit over 7 acres, and it's currently assessed by our assessor of a true cash value of $63,555. What we'd like to do is put that lot on our website as a bidding process for over like a 30-day period. We would advertise in the newspaper, South Haven Tribune, that we have this bid and that they need to go to our website to bid. The person bidding would probably register. They would put what they're willing to pay for it. It would be public, and then somebody else can register and take the price up, and that could go back and forth for a 30-day period. And then probably 15 minutes prior to the closing of it, we'll probably isolate the bid. And if people bid up or down, you won't know who's the high bid at the end. And then we would have that and be able to award the bid to the high bidder. That's not the way it's actually going to go. That's kind of the thought process. We'll develop that a little bit later. But it'll be set up by Christy, and she would handle how to get all that put together and work well. With that, we're trying right now to get the mobile home park on there. We would probably do the same thing with all the buildable lots we have in the subdivisions that and there's about 11 of them right now, and there might be more, but we could put them on there and do the same process. So we need to set what the minimum price for our buildable lot for the $63,255. If we want to drop that down a certain percentage of the assessor's true cash value to go out and start getting bids for that property. Is there any discussion on that?
Yes, my question is, why is this urgent? This land was been set aside, and if we're trying to generate funds for the township, if that's truly the value, I'm seeing some crazy values on land out there.
Well, I don't think this is urgent. We have to develop all this. We have to develop everything that we're talking about here. But what we're looking for, part of the development, is to know what percentage of the assessor's true cash value the township board would like to place on this property for us to go forward, and that you're okay with us putting it on the website and advertising it into there and the method that we're talking about so that we can put together the process.
Ken, is this still going to be designated as a parcel for a mobile home park?
It right now by our zoning is only thing that could go in there is a mobile home park. So it will be a mobile home park by whoever buys it, whether it's a contractor, an individual, or some corporation that has mobile home parks.
Okay, so the thought process is to keep it as it's stated in the zoning process as a mobile home park.
That is correct.
And just to be clear, we cannot change it by state law at this point unless we were to designate another location. And that would be on the planning commission to change that yet again.
Well, it's my understanding the state does not actually require us to have a mobile home park, but it is suggested that we have an area for that. And my concern about keeping it in a mobile home park setting or zoning is that if we did not keep that in that particular zoning configuration, or then people could move mobile homes in anywhere they wanted to go. And I'm not sure if we even have an ordinance for the square footage or the certain size of mobile homes. I know other townships do, but I would have to come in and look at that. That was my only concern.
Our zoning ordinance has the minimum size of a mobile home that we can have in the township, and that it has to be inspected and be a certified mobile home to come into our township. In other words, it has to be made after a certain date and have a stamp on it that it was built to a certain code to come into our township. So this mobile home park would have to meet the same criteria as our zoning ordinance.
And
Correct. And
if-
I do know,
I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to interject something here. I believe that the development of a mobile home park, when it comes down to the details, that is, I believe that's not under the township's control, that it would be the state. However, I don't think that they're more relaxed than our requirements are. And I could be misspeaking here, but I did read a lot on this before, but it's been like a year or two. And I'm pretty sure that that would be controlled by the state once it is going to be a mobile home park. And I think that's to keep local governments from discriminating against a mobile home park in some way.
Our zoning ordinance has a section on mobile home parks.
Yeah.
That we have to comply with.
Has
Any
there
other
been any-
discussion?
well,
Look.
the only other thing that I was thinking about is I'm sure this is, from what I looked at on the map and things, location, this is a wooded property. Has there been any thought process of possibly having somebody come in and look at the timber and do some logging on it to generate money for the township before we sell it, or before somebody buys it? Or would that be up to the individual?
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
If you're looking to generate a little bit extra money, that could be a possibility. You'd have to survey the situation and see what trees would be able to be logged, and what maybe an arbor or somebody would come in or a company and do that. But that might be a consideration.
Well, that's worth looking into.
So, so is that the point here? Are we trying to generate funds? Is that what we're after here?
My understanding is that, the way I looked at it is we've designated that as a mobile home park, and we haven't told anyone that that's available to develop as a mobile home park. And I feel like we, instead of just sitting on it, we should make it available for purchase.
Well, that's a good point.
I agree with that 100%. And that's why I brought up the idea of maybe logging some of that off. If it was a little bit,
I think we ought to log it off. I mean, we ought to look
I
into
like
that
that idea.
as part of this process of getting ready to sell it.
it might make it a little bit more lucrative for somebody to buy it, and maybe even possibly raise the value of it.
Well, it'd be a cost they wouldn't have to take down all the trees.
Exactly right.
So I would think that they would find an interest in that. So
And they may want to leave some of the trees, so we could maybe put something in the sale to where because they may not want all the trees gone, but then the trees they want gone, maybe we could benefit from that. So that could be a win-win.
Maybe we can just leave a certain thickness of a border around the edge of the property, because really hauling trailers in and out of there, you're not going to be able too many trees down
Oh,
the,
true.
yeah.
And then my only other thought on this is, I know it's almost 8 acres. I thought it was 8 acres before. That's what the planning commission thought, but we probably didn't have an exact figure. I'm not a fan of continuing to reduce it. I'm not a fan of selling it under value.
So I'm a fan of bringing more housing to our area, and I have no issues with reducing the sale price if it means somebody will buy it. Now,
Well,
if we feel like we need to post it at the current value for a little while and see what happens, I guess I'm not opposed to that. But we need the housing in our area.
Well,
It-
I'm
if
not
we
sure.
put,
how
if we put this in the hands of a realtor, we're gonna lose 10% right off the bat. So reducing it 10% is probably gonna be more like a true cash value of
6%,
what you're gonna
Ken.
get on a sell.
It would be 6% if they use a buyer and a seller.
Vacant land, I think is 10%.
Okay, I've never sold vacant land, so I wouldn't know. Um,
I'm sure that could be
So I guess
negotiated.
my question is how Ann arrived at that value for 8 acres, because
It's
that's a
commercial.
lot per acre.
It's commercial. A mobile home park
Oh,
is considered commercial. That's why it's so much. The other
because
thing,
of the commercial overlay that,
no, because of the use, mobile home park use is commercial.
and the overlay went all the way down 388, so now it can.
Well,
At
that
least-
overlay has nothing to do with this because it's the designated mobile home park. So that overlay
Okay.
literally has nothing to do. When
So
it
they
comes
could
to,
give it a commercial use anywhere then. A
okay,
mobile
so
home park.
right, a mobile home park is always going to be a commercial use purposes.
However, is this zone currently as residential?
No, I believe it's,
Agricultural.
and according, let's be clear, according to our current master plan, it is zoned designated mobile home park.
Everything around it's agricultural, and I think that's what Gary
Yes.
was asking.
Yes. And
Okay,
however, everything around it's agricultural, but it does have according to the new master plan, the commercial overlay all the way down through there, 300 feet from the road.
okay, so what are we actually thinking about approving here?
What we're gonna start the price at, I think.
We were looking at what the price, if we was taking out to bid, what price would the township board want to place on this? And Beverly's right, we need to get value for the land. But we get to decide what the value for value is. I mean, we know that we have a hard time selling property in our township for development, so we have to think about that. And we can't advertise it at 100%, 90%, 80%, whatever we
Oh,
believe we want to start at.
there's also another thing that we could potentially talk about here. I know we were talking about the size of that lot. We actually own, and I don't know if Ken's already got a plan for it or not, but we own, I believe, 7 small parcels that abut this land. It would make the flag bigger if we wanted to combine them and increase the size of this. I just wanted to throw that out there.
That also could be done by a developer for the mobile home park
Yes.
to help an incentive for that.
Yes.
Okay,
Or we could put a convenience store in there and set it up for convenience since it is for commercial use overlay.
Yeah.
And when you get a mobile home park, you normally right beside it end up with a convenience store.
So tonight, really all we need, I guess what we need to do is just decide, are we going to post it? Are we going to post it for a certain amount for a little while? Are we going to offer bidding on it and start at a lower price for bidding? What do we want to do?
I guess my suggestion would be if there's no other discussion or comments that we post it for the amount shown on our agenda for a period of, I'll say 60 days.
We
So
might
the
as well
full
te-
price?
to test the waters, because, you know, I know we're having trouble selling our small lots, but then I'm seeing crazy amounts for some of those small lots. Someone out there selling them for 7,500 somehow. Um,
Just remember that this has a single use available.
right, a single use that could also be a benefit to the community, because I do like the idea of affordable housing, given that someone comes in and does affordable and not like the one near South Haven where they kicked everybody out so they could turn it into you know, a high-end, high-dollar summer kind of place.
Well, can we maybe lower it a little bit, and then they're doing bids, so.
Here's what I like to do. I think that we probably got a lot of ideals here, and I think the first thing we ought to do is let's take a month to our next meeting, but in the meantime, let's see if we can sell that logging, have it logged before we put it up for bid.
Okay.
And I think that, you know, I think value for value, if it's worth $63,255, we probably ought to post it for the first 60 days at that and see what happens, and then we can lower it. We're not rushing this. We need to get a process put together, but I think the logging is first. And Gary, could you check into that for us? Do you have time for that?
Sure, I can look into that. Not a problem.
I appreciate that. And Christy and I'll try to write down the process that we're going to go through with this to give you guys a better ideal, and we'll have that before the next meeting too. So we'll have the logging looked at. We'll have the price set. We'll have our what the ad's going to look like, and markup of what the website would look like for the land sales. How about that?
And
Is that agreeable?
yeah, and Ken, I just calculated really quick, and the you know, you were talking about if we used a realtor, it would cost us 10%, and that would take it down to about 56,900.
Well, you know, we could go for 30 days then, and if it's not moving or getting anything in 30 days, we can drop it down. I mean, we have the capability to do a lot, and maybe we ought to start off at 65,000 and, you know, go from there. But right now, let's get the logging taken care of. Let's get our little process, what we're going to put in the South Haven Tribune, so you got an idea what that's going to look at and what we're going to have on the website. And I think we'll be able to make a better decision at the next meeting.
So you want it in the newspaper and on the website?
The website is actually going to be able to kind of explain how you're going to bid. How you got to register. You're going to have to put in the value that you want to pay for it. We're going to have a minimum, so if you don't put in the minimum, it won't take it.
So, and then we can,
There's some work on the website that has to be done to do this.
Yeah.
So,
but yes,
Okay.
we will advertise it in the newspaper, but it won't be like the notices are. We'll just do something that's little brief note that says, please go to our website for more information.
Right.
and the website will have a lot more information, like what the agreement's going to be and how you get the bid and all that other good stuff that you need on there for protecting yourself.
Okay, and can I just add one more thought, just for people to mull over? Given the way the current housing boom and everything, is it possible, I don't know if it's even legal or not, would it be possible to give a reduced price if someone, if they somehow could guarantee for X amount of years, it would be operated to serve people, like to somehow benefit the community for affordable housing.
We can certainly check with the attorney to see if that's something that we can provide.
Just a thought. I mean, since we're only gonna have one shot at this, it might be a way to do some really good things. Or a really good thing and provide places for, I hear from our fire department, Dave says a lot of times he has trouble recruiting people because there's not an affordable place to live.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, I'm done.
Let's see, we're gonna need, do we need a motion?
I think we need a motion on the sale of the firewood. Or I'm sorry, but of the timbers. The sale of the timbers.
Well, I think we're just gonna get bids or to look into it. I don't think we're gonna be able to sell without knowing what the value is.
Do you need a motion to post this on the website?
Well, I think we need a motion to, basically, no, I don't want to say table this, but to, postpone the decision to the next meeting.
I'll make
So-
that motion.
That'll give Gary time to look at what we can do on the wood, and it will give us time to get the ad together and to what it's gonna look like on the website.
I'll support.
Who made the motion?
Beverly did.
Boy, she didn't take much time on that. Who seconded it?
Christie.
Christie. Boy, I can't. Boy, it'd be nice when we can meet together again. Okay, let's vote. Christie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes,
Beverly is a yes, and Ken's a yes.
Yes.
That was very good discussion on that. I like that. We're gonna have we're moving on to I3, and it's Chuck McCaig to assist the transfer station. We previously decided to have 2 free dump days, the first weekend of June, that's the 5th and the 6th. To help with the additional visitors at the transfer station, we'll need some extra manpower, and Chuck McCaig would like to work for us for $15 an hour and $2 per tire that gets loaded into the trailer throughout the weekend. He is also willing to do scheduled pickups during the week for those that are unable to leave their homes.
Just
That
to be
kind of
clear.
sums it up.
Yeah, just to be
Discussion?
clear. Just to be clear, the $2 per tire is not necessarily just for the weekend because they have a bunch to load ahead of time too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I
So
thought
he'll
it was
load tires for $2 a tire, basically,
Yeah.
Yes,
and he will also pick them up for people who can't get out.
yes.
That's very nice.
Any discussion?
I think this is a great thing. It's a good idea. I love it. To have the free weekend. And how are we going to get the word out?
Reminder.
Great.
I think we've already approved advertising it, didn't we, Christie?
I
I-
believe we did last month.
Yeah, I think, oops, sorry.
No, go ahead, Beth.
I think we did at a previous meeting. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. Well, if no other discussion, can I get a motion to contract with Chuck McCaig to support the transfer station free weekend at a price of $15 per hour and to support the tire removal and loading at a price of $2 per tire?
So moved.
That's- So moved by who?
Christie.
Christie.
support McGarry.
Thank you, Gary. Let's go ahead and vote. Christie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes,
Beverly,
Yes.
Ken, yes. Moving on, signage for the transfer station. Right now, we don't have any general rules for the transfer station posted on the fence, nor do we have the cost of the tickets or how many punches is gonna be how many bags or how many items brought to the transfer station. And we believe that the signs would be beneficial for anyone visiting the transfer station. So we'd like to purchase some signs to cover the general rules and cost of a ticket with the number of punches on the transfer station. Do we have any discussion on that?
Yeah, I think this is a good idea because it makes it clear to people and then also as people are just driving by, it lets them know that it's not really unreasonable to take something to the dump. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Just a hand and a foot.
My only comment, looking at the sign, I think is well written and it looks good. My only comment would be that we should have on there for additional information, the township phone number.
Okay. And there will be a second sign as well, that will have the ticket punch numbers. I just didn't mock that one up.
The only other comment I would have is I don't think we want to put it on the fence because it might grow feet and leave, or it might get some graffiti put on it. So I would mount it on a post or two, whatever, how many signs you have, farther inside the fenced area so people can't reach it.
Any other discussion? Can I get a motion to purchase general rules and the cost of her ticket with a number of punches per item signs with the post on the inside of the fence for the transfer station?
I make that motion.
That's Rhonda.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Well, my only other comment would be is there going to be a not to exceed cost on this?
Yeah, so we can do that. It should be less than $500 once we get the posts and everything.
Okay.
My comment was, we are going to add the phone number on there, Ken?
Yep.
Tracy?
Yeah, the phone
Okay.
number is going to be on there.
Okay, great. I'll second if no one has. I lost track.
Just to be clear, that motion is to approve the purchase of signage and posts for the transfer station at a cost not to exceed $500. Rhonda?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Gary, is that
Yes. Yes.
second? Okay, let's roll call this. Christie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
and Ken is a yes. Our last item is I-5. It's Planning Commission member discussion. One of the members of the Planning Commission has missed quite a few meetings over the past year and recently missed 3 in a row. I did email the individual and asked if they were going to be able to attend the meetings in the future, and I have not received any response. I gave them an option in the email of resigning from the Planning Commission instead of being removed by the Township Board. The bylaws required an individual who misses 3 consecutive meetings to be removed from the Planning Commission after a public hearing held by the Township Board on the matter. Do we have any discussion on this?
Yes, I also reached out with a phone call and left a phone message. And although the bylaws don't require us to remove the person, it does require us to take some kind of action. And the board would probably want to recommend removing the person if they don't give an official resignation, because I think it's one of those things where they're just overly busy in their personal life, and these kind of things can get away with you, and we could wait too long on a letter or a notice or a response. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we have members on the commission. So And then I guess I could also add, it's a hard position to fill. So
We have
the sooner
have a-
we get started on it, the better.
We actually have a letter of interest from a citizen that is actually on the call right now. So while we can't, I don't believe, unless Ken and I did talk about a possible workaround earlier. I don't believe we can appoint him tonight, but we do have somebody that's interested.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend moving on that tonight. To me, I feel like we should do one thing at a time. Just because we don't want to even give the appearance that we're doing this because there's someone interested and who I
Oh, no.
don't know.
Just to be
So,
clear, the letter of interest came quite a bit ago. It wasn't just recent.
well, I can only hope that they're still interested.
They,
And that
they are. I
maybe
confirmed. I
others
did
will,
confirm today that the person would still be interested. Yes.
and maybe there will be others interested also, because it would be nice to have more than one person to choose from. If that's at all possible. I know it may not be.
Well, I will say that I have actually been, I've had out there for quite a while now, and I've posted in some other places that we are always looking for planning, ZBA, and Board of Review members. Even though we have most of our seats filled right now, they often come available. So I am always, we have them, and we very rarely receive interest, but I do advertise it all the time.
Can we put this on our website?
It is.
Because I looked under, just out of curiosity, because I needed to find something tonight or this afternoon, I was exploring the website and I saw positions, and I
Oh,
imagine that meant
expired.
employment, and there was no page came up, but
Yeah,
if
they
we
expire
could-
every now and then, so I just need to update the expiration date. So I'll do that right now.
okay, because there was nothing on there. And then would it be possible to do a very small, quick reminder ad in the classifieds? Or I don't know what you guys think about that. If it would be worth. Because it would only be for,
The person that we have in mind is very highly qualified for this position. And I think everybody would be pleased to have him on there. But I agree we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves. But
yeah, I
if
think-
we do have a resignation before the first planning commission, I probably will be seeking some advice about actually calling a special meeting to get that position filled as soon as we can. Because the planning commission's got so much stuff on their plate, we really can't lose a week or a month of not going forward with the capital improvement plan and changes to the zoning ordinance that we're seeking to get done. So
right, but we don't have an issue with a quorum, and the 4 members that are left, we do have excellent attendance. So I would recommend that we still post this at least on our website, because not only does this position need to be filled, but we never know what might come up in the future. Somebody might get ill, terms are going to expire. It wouldn't be a bad idea to build, if we could, a pool of people who might be interested in serving on the planning commission, because we know it's not easy to find people who are interested in serving. So that's just my thoughts on this.
Yeah, and like I said, this has been posted on the website. It just recently expired. I just didn't catch it until you said something, but I just looked at it just not that long ago and it was up there. So we have been advertising it for quite some time now. This shows right now that I posted it 2 months ago. I actually posted it 2 months prior to that as well.
Okay, and so is it on the website? Is it, how would they find it? That's, I guess, is my question.
So the very first thing on the website is this Get Involved button. They click on it and then it takes them to it.
Okay, so there's no, like, you open the website and it says, we are looking for people interested in serving on such and such.
I can put all those words on there, but my experience is that that does not make it any better.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to put certain words. What I'm saying is get involved. People may think, oh, well, maybe I don't feel like redoing the grass at the ballpark or something. I don't know. I just feel like sometime if it's a posting, it should be a clear posting to where people can just look and see that this is needed. That's just my 2 cents.
Anyone else? What do we want to do here? We want to get a motion to advertise in the reminder. Is that what I heard?
No, that was just a suggestion.
Well, I think at this point, don't we need a motion to remove the one
And
We
delinquent
can't
member?
until after we have
can't do
a
that
public
tonight.
hearing.
the goal is that he will resign and then we can avoid the public hearing. But we have to be able to get in touch with the person first.
Well, I guess that would be my comment. Give them a phone call with a message saying, please contact us. We have, whatever you need to do. And then you can speak to them about a letter of resignation. So we don't have to go through all the public hearings and that stuff.
So
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is decide what is our time frame that we're going to allow to receive contact back, because I know that he
We
has
have
been
to
reached.
post it
Huh?
because we need time we have to
Yes.
post and things. So
Yes.
I honestly think, so I did leave a message today and I left at a home number that was listed in, I actually still have a phone book. But I think, and emails change and things like that. And I know there was one meeting where there was an email from this member that said they had mentioned they were on an airplane. So it sounds like they're very busy. So I would say a letter to their home address might be a good idea, or maybe home and business, and then give a date, even if they had, even if they left a verbal, couldn't we take a verbal?
I don't believe that we should do that. I feel
Okay.
that is walking too fine of a legal line.
No, I think what you need is you need a signed statement.
Okay, well, then
And if we're gonna go with, snail mail, then we can pretty much guarantee we won't be doing this until after the next board meeting.
well, can't we deliver it to their door? I would do it if, just slip it in the door, just so that we know that we've exhausted every option to reach them before we go to the expense and the time of a public hearing. And
I'm certainly in support of doing whatever we need to avoid the public hearing if we can help it.
Send a registered letter.
Yeah, see,
that takes a lot of time. So if
Yeah.
we put it in the door, or, I'm not even opposed to knocking on the door and just saying, and maybe I'll catch someone at home, maybe not, I don't know. But I guess.
well,
we
if you're
should-
gonna deliver it, Bev, you can just go talk to him.
Yeah,
If
he's
they're
normally,
home.
he's
Right.
normally at the office at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And, okay, so a place to reach them. Because I also tried the business number and it was busy all day. And that makes me think that maybe the number has changed or something.
Well, he's right on 215 right there at the office. In the morning, they set out the work plan for the day.
Okay. So then if we can deliver something, then because we are in our meeting tonight, do we need to set a date tonight in case we do need to do the public hearing or approve the public hearing tonight? What is it that we need to do to make sure that this is seamless? Because we can always cancel the public hearing, correct?
We can, yes. I guess that's the next question is, what do we want the time frame to be? How much time at this point do we want to allow for communication before we make that, before we send out the notices for a public hearing?
Well, should we work backwards from, would it be at next month's meeting? The
Well,
public
we were
hearing?
willing, Ken was willing to hold a special board meeting so that we can have somebody in place by the June Planning Commission meeting.
My suggestion would be that if somebody on the board or on the planning commission is willing to go to his office, like Ken stated, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and speak with the person, and maybe have him even at that point write out it doesn't have to be fancy, can be a handwritten letter of resignation if that's what they choose, and we can bring it back and get it done.
Well, I think that we probably don't need a motion for anything on this either. I think we'll just get in contact with him personally and see what his intent is.
Right,
And
yeah, you don't.
go from there. If we need to have a special meeting, we'll have a special meeting to make sure that the planning commission is fully staffed. I mean, it's got a lot of work before them. So
Yes, and I would just like to add here that not being a fan of special meetings, and a lot of us aren't, depending on what it is that's going on at the time, a new member is always going to be a good thing for the planning commission, but it is not going to speed up our work, especially having a new member. I guess what I'm trying to say is the timeline is not urgent. We still have a quorum. There are still 4 members, and
I actually disagree. I think the timeline is super important right now because of what the Planning Commission is working on. If you try to bring in a new person any further into the capital improvement plan or the zoning ordinances that you're rewriting, it's just going to make it even harder for them to get caught up to where you are.
I agree with Christy. I think that you have to have somebody that's able to step right in and be able to pick right up onto the capital improvement plan and not fall behind on it, because it's something that really needs a lot of attention. So does the changes in the zoning ordinance. I mean, you're going through a lot of things, and you 5 people are better than 4.
it all does need a lot of attention, and
I
agree. I partially agree with both of your points, but on the other hand, I also don't agree. I just feel like rushing it this way, it just doesn't.
So
First of all, they're going to be new, and we know how hard it is to be new on the planning commission. So I guess the baptism by fire is what we all seem to get, and maybe that's not a bad thing for them. But as far as the capital improvement plan goes, having them come in right away via special meeting for a public hearing and all that is not going to, I don't believe it's going to smooth that process at all. But
so just to be clear, we've known that this is a potential issue for a while. It's been months of trying to reach out to this person, and the person that's interested expressed their interest quite a while ago. So from my perspective, it doesn't feel rushed because there's been a lot of other things going on to try to get us to a point where this is healthy. So that's just my perspective. It doesn't feel rushed to me because of the things that have already gone on up to this point.
From my perspective, I agree with all your points, including Christie's last comment. And I also agree with Beverly being that at this point, there's still a quorum, so the business can continue. So, and the other point I might bring up is that even if a person is highly qualified, there's still going to be a learning curve to bring that person up to speed of what's happening thus far. And since there is a quorum and the business can continue, then I'd say we have a little bit of time yet to do. If it's already been a couple months, another week or two or another month even isn't going to make that much difference.
Well, I don't like special meetings, but I'm willing to have a special meeting based on keeping our planning commission fully staffed. And the person that I have in mind, I actually get to make the motion to appoint them. And I'm willing to do that. So we need to take care of this.
Mhm.
I don't want to get to the point where we don't have a full functioning planning commission.
I believe the first thing needs to be done is to contact the delinquent member and see what their intentions are and then go from there. Then if you need a special meeting to appoint somebody, so be it.
I'll take care of that tomorrow.
Are you going to take care of what, Ken?
I'm going to go talk to the person tomorrow. If I have to sit on his door all night.
Okay, and then we need to have the public hearing, and I just feel like we should have it as part of our regular meeting. This is what people didn't like about the last board was the special meetings and the rush and the urgent. All of our business is urgent all the time.
I don't think we're going to have a public hearing for starters. I'm really hopeful that we don't have to have a public hearing.
That would be beautiful.
But I do strongly believe that it would be beneficial to whoever is going to sit in that position to be able to sit at the board table, so to speak, at the commission table in June, if possible. So, I mean, a special meeting for one appointment, to me, we're talking about it right here, right now. We could even pick the date right here, right now, publicly, so that people have plenty of notice.
Right, but to me, I don't know, it's a principle thing for me. It's like special meetings okay if it's something I want, but it's not okay if it's something that just you want. So I don't know. I mean, I'm one vote here. So whatever the board decides is what I'm going to go along with.
Well, we have a number of people out listening to our conversation on this, and they'll have an opportunity to voice their opinion, whether they think it's good to get somebody on or if they'd like us to wait. I mean, they have the right to do that. I really think our planning commission is doing an excellent job, but I think they're very adverse. I like the diversity that we have in them, and I think they're doing many great things for this township, and I don't want to stop that. I want to keep the diversity in there, and I want people that actually want to be on the planning commission, working in the planning commission.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So, and I don't like special meetings. I'd rather not have any of them, but in some cases, we're going to have to do it.
Well, why don't we put a week time limit on getting something from this other person? Right.
Like I said, I'll go over there tomorrow and I'll put a sticky on the door if I have to call me. At his house and that where he works. I mean, tell him I need to talk to him.
I thank you for doing that, Ken.
No, that's not a problem. So what do we want to do with what we discussed here? Basically, I don't see any motion that we need here. I'm going to go make contact. We'll get an answer from that. I'll try to get him to, if he gives me a good real reason why he's not being able to attend, and then he's going to start attending all the meetings, then we might do nothing. Maybe there's nothing needs to be done. On the other hand, if he says he just doesn't have time to do it, then I'd ask him to write me something to resign. And hopefully I'll walk out with that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So I'll take that, but I don't think I need any motion from the board on this.
I don't think you do either until after you find out what the disposition is going to be. And hopefully then if you come out with some type of documentation indicates any other public hearings or anything, that'd be the best way.
Well, I may take a documentation over there just for him to sign, so he doesn't even have to take the time to do it. In
Sounds
fact,
like
I
a
think I
plan to
will do
me.
that.
I
I'll
think that's a great idea,
something up.
Ken.
Sounds like a plan.
So I will try to take care of that tomorrow. I'll at least leave something on his door, or I'll talk to somebody there and give him a piece of paper to have him sign and get back to me. Okay, so I think this was just a discussion anyways on the planning commission member. We've had a discussion. I don't think we need a motion. So are we all done? Everyone done discussing this?
Yeah, the last thing I would like to say is that I don't always agree, but I hope that everyone knows that I'm hoping that I'm coming across as respectfully disagreeing, because that's what I love about America, is that we can do that.
Beverly, I told you I love diversity.
Mhm.
And I think that everyone's opinion has got value. And I will think about what you said about special meetings tonight, and it will probably keep me awake a little while, pondering over if it's the right thing or not thing, because I do take all that stuff to heart. So I hear you loud and clear, and I understand your position.
You know
And
what the rule book says, iron can sharpen iron and a man can sharpen another man.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna move on with that. That was discussion. I think it was good discussion. I appreciate it. Anyone else final comment on it? Or are we good? Everyone good?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna move on to public comment. And we just had a real good discussion on the planning commission member. Anyone out there that's got a suggestion for us, going too fast, don't have public special public meetings, please voice your opinion.
Ken, this is Commissioner Doro. I know a lot of times we have to have special meetings for different things at the county level. And I don't know what your problem is having a special meeting or having at a different time or day, but a lot of times we just do ours 10 minutes before the regular meeting. And so, I mean, you can do it before your regular meetings and don't have to worry about, special day and all that kind of stuff and, people getting there and such.
Well, they'll have a planning commission meeting before we have our board meeting. That's our problem.
Oh, that's okay. All right.
Yep.
I'll
I
be
appreciate
quiet
the
then.
comment,
Thank
though.
you. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Ken, you want me to go ahead and direct people for public comment, or are you gonna
Yeah.
call out?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I can't tell.
Okay, awesome. Marcia, go ahead.
Yes, I'm just sitting here listening to this, and I may be paranoid or whatever, and I understand that the planning commission needs to function. But having listened to the planning commission's meetings the past probably 3 or 4 months, they're moving at a pace that really can't be speeded up. And I'm sure this person has multiple, talents and everything else, but I still think for the public to be informed, you need to put it in the paper. And I understand, that most people don't care, but there might be someone out there who wants to. And I just think that it needs to be publicized before you go ahead. And even though this person is highly qualified and he or she probably will be chosen, but I feel like sitting here that it's being rammed down my throat, and that maybe is wrong. But I'm with Bev. The planning commission is doing fine. They have their majority of their meetings, and I understand they're under a lot of pressure. But this capital gains thing, listening to the planning commission, can't be rushed. It's still going to take the same amount of time. And if he knows or she knows all about it, well, that's a great advantage. But I just feel like this is just too much pressure, that it's being rammed down your throat, having been accused in the past of ramming down things to the public's throat without them knowing it because they don't pay attention. I think you need to make sure that you put it in the reminder. I did notice probably 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, when I was looking at the website, because I always look, the planning commission said that there might be 2 positions available. Well, that was a month ago. So how did we know? I mean, I understand this person that is going to maybe resign wasn't attending, but how did we possibly have 2 positions a month ago? And when Bev looks at it, like there's nobody now. So that's just my comment. Thank you very much for your time.
Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, I'm going to echo similar to what Marcia just said regarding the open seat, and the appearance of impropriety is something that was a concern at the last administration. And I know the current one does not want to repeat that image. I do understand you want to move forward, but I do think it gives public confidence when things are advertised where they can actually see them, which is more likely going to be the reminder. Also, there is the possibility that there's an illness in the family or something. And if you guys haven't been able to reach him, it could be he's going to feel pressured to resign, but I'm gonna, just assume that everybody has good email addresses or phone numbers and that he has had a chance prior to being given a piece of paper and say, sign here. But then on a different note, on the transfer station sign, I wonder if you might include hours. I think that's something when people drive by, maybe that would have less people just dumping right outside there if they know when the dump will be open again. I'm guessing people get used to it being open on Saturdays, and one Saturday a month it's not. And that might help with not having dumping there. Thank you.
Again, you can provide public comment in chat. You can using the bit.ly on the agenda. You can send me an email. You can turn your mic on if you want to provide additional comments.
No more public comments, Christy?
I'm not seeing anything at this time.
Anyone else have any public comments? Okay, we're going to move on to correspondence and announcements. Our next township board meeting is scheduled for June 15th, 2021, 7 p.m. Christy, do you have any other correspondence we need to talk about?
I do not.
No other announcements? I guess we'll go to board comments. Gary?
No, I have no additional comments at this point. I'll do some checking on getting some quotes for logging if there's any good timber there that people want to quote on. Other than that, I hope everyone has a good, safe evening and
Hey, Gary, Tom Rock out of Bloomingdale, actually, buys trees, and the guy on, oh, what do they call it? Not Teapot Dune. He's on, County Road, 665 and then 43, that logging company right there. He buys
Right.
lumber.
yep. And I know Tom as well. Thanks.
Yeah, both of them will, help you out there. Beverly, board comments?
Oh, the only comment I have is, I'm glad that we do have some people that get involved and that have the time and energy and are willing to give. And I do appreciate the board, and I don't always agree with everything, but like you said at one point, when the board votes on something, that is what I'm going to follow. So I just like to ask questions. I feel like that's my job, and it's hard on online without being in person because you don't have that eye contact to see if someone's getting ready to speak. So we're always kind of stepping on each other's toes unintentionally. But I do appreciate this board. And our ability to disagree and still get to a conclusion on something.
We need to be able to disagree to disagree. So
That's right.
so I like that too. Treasurer Collins.
I don't have a whole lot to say. Just everybody have a good evening until the next board meeting.
That's a long evening.
Clerk Case.
I don't have a whole lot to say about our meeting, but we do have a holiday that's coming up. And I just want to make sure that we, everyone respectfully remembers those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. And then I also want to make a little note, because my husband would appreciate it that I do this. Anytime I have a little bit of a platform to say anything, I like to stress that there's a difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And this Memorial Day is not a day that a veteran wants your thanks. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you're remembering those that have ultimately given that ultimate sacrifice and their family. Otherwise, everybody have a great beginning of your summer.
Okay, first, I'd like to thank the Township Board. We had a real nice meeting tonight. Things went very well. We had a lot of good discussions, and I think that's very positive. I want to thank the fire department over on Fire Lane 5. They had a huge grass fire over the weekend, and they had multiple fire departments there helping them, and they were able to get that taken care of. A hearing, we're not trying to ram things down people's throats here, and in the public. We're trying to kind of like run a business here, and I understand that some things you should not do at a special meeting, and I would really like not to have a special meeting. And so I'm going to think hard on that before I do that, and it's something I don't want to do. And we have been looking for people, and we have a number of people on a list here, and there's a few of them that we probably can get for the planning commission. And then there are some good candidates. So I think I have about 4 people on a list that want to volunteer for the township. So we do have people that call up and ask to join us, even for recreation and the other committees that we have. Hours down at the transfer station, we do change the hours from time to time, so it's kind of hard to put our hours up there. I think we probably could figure out a way to get hours where we can change them and get that down there though. So we'll look at how to do that. Also, I just want to remind you on June 5th and 6th, we're going to have free dump days. Take advantage of that. We're trying to clean up our community and let all your neighbors that might need some clean up, let them know that we got free dump day those days so that they can take advantage of it. I'm glad we have people still listening in here, and I can't wait till we have actual regular meetings at the Township Hall. With that, I think I'm done for tonight, and I need to get a motion to adjourn. Can I get one of those?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
That's Rhonda. Do I get a second?
I'll second. This is Bev.
That's Bev. Doesn't sound like Bev. And we'll have a roll call vote. Christie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Ken is a yes. We have adjourned at 8:34 p.m. Everyone have a good night, safe night. Those of you that drove into the Township Board, have a safe trip home.